it's Rosemary Nerschel, your program specialist for Mildmont Middle School. This morning I want to talk to you about distance IEP management. It's important to know that during this unprecedented time, we've been forced to do things differently. As we navigate how to hold IEP meetings for our students with disabilities, it's important that we do so with confidence and we do so carefully. Hopefully the guidance that your SELPA team has provided you will be supportive to that end. I want to remind you that you can hold a meeting on a virtual platform that you are comfortable with. That platform could be Zoom video conference, it could be Zoom telephone conference, it could be just a regular old telephone conference. I also want to remind you that it's best practice to send your parents a draft of the IEP document that you're going to review, along with a copy of their procedural safeguards prior to holding your meeting.
If you have sufficient data to complete the entire IEP and your parent is willing to complete the IEP as a distance meeting, you may do so. If you have sufficient data to update some areas of the IEP, you can go ahead and do so. Do what you can. Whether you're completing all the IEP, some of the IEP, or just opening and closing to preserve the date, you must affirm and attest every page of that document that would normally be addressed in the IEP that you're holding, and note which pages remain in draft form.
SELPA has provided verbiage that can be added to the notes page and present levels of performance page to indicate this. See the SELPA Frequently Asked Questions Google Sheet that has been shared with you. It is also available as a link in the SELPA Distance Learning Guidance presentation and is linked in the comments.
When holding the IEP to preserve the date, the end dates for the services must be changed to 1 year minus 1 day from the date the IEP was due. This will be the same date as your next annual IEP. The date of the IEP being held, whether it's an annual or triennial IEP, must be changed to the date the team is opening the IEP to preserve the date. The notes must reflect the changes made utilizing a statement such as the following. You can find this verbiage on the SELPA Fact Google Sheet.
At the completion of your IEP meeting, you must affirm and attest every page of the IEP, regardless of whether the team addressed that page or not. Make sure that you send a copy of that exact and complete document as a PDF with all affirmed pages, including those that remain in draft state, to the parent. If your parent is requesting a hard copy, which they can and may do, it might make sense to send a PDF of that document to your site administrator or the administrator who is involved in that IEP meeting and arrange for them to print it out and have the parent come and pick the document up during lunch distribution at the school site. In order to create a PDF of the document from SACE, open the current IEP. The one you just affirmed will be the new current IEP. Check the top box to select all affirmed forms and click Print Selected. Hit Print. This will show up in your print queue. Select the download icon in your PDF viewer to save the document. Our recommendation is that you save the document to your MVUSD Google Drive rather than to your personal device or your work device, as Google Drive is compliant with FERPA standards. From there, you can email the document to your parents or send it to your school site for pickup.
If you're using an electronic signature service such as DocuSign or Adobe Sign, you can get instructions for that on YouTube. If you are using DocuSign or Adobe Sign, you're going to upload the entire IEP document for the IEP participants to sign. You need to indicate all areas for the participants to sign. You will receive a completed PDF once everyone has signed. Then you're going to send that completed document with the signatures to the parent and also upload it into SACE. If you use another means of consent, such as text or email, then the parent needs to indicate the student name and also the date of the IEP. You'll need to screenshot or generate a PDF of that communication And just like with DocuSign or Adobe, you'll need to send the parent a completed full document with the signatures and also upload that consent into SACE. SACE is in the process of developing and releasing their own integrated electronic signature platform. More information will be shared with you as soon as that is available.
As of March 13th, we are not printing IEPs for the confidential file, so it's very important that your documents in SACE are correct and that consent is uploaded. It's also important that you double check your IEP before affirming it. Look at the areas in which we commonly err, such as dates on the eligibility page, the goals page, and the services page. Oftentimes there are inconsistencies there, so we want to double check and make sure everything is correct before we affirm. SACE documents will serve as our legal document for now. Again, make sure that all IEPs are affirmed in their entirety as they are held.
Well, now you've seen the process of digital distance IEP meetings. So I just want to wrap up the video and review a few of the elements that we've talked about. First, I want you to choose a platform that you're comfortable with, whether that's telephone call or video conferencing, that's your choice. Next, prepare the draft of the IEP. Once you have that draft prepared, send it home prior to the meeting along with a copy of your procedural safeguards. When you're drafting and holding the IEP, complete as much as you have data and information for. That could very well mean open and close and preserve the date. In preserving the date, you will update the IEP date on the information and eligibility page, as well as the next annual date, and if applicable, the next triennial date. You want to carefully detail the pages that remain draft status on your notes page. What did you cover? What's left to be covered? Also, you want to include that explanation that we've provided for incomplete IEPs. You will still need to obtain signatures. You're not getting consent if you didn't hold an entire IEP, but you will need to get signatures. And immediately following this IEP, you need to affirm and attest every single page of the IEP, whether you open the page or not. Please affirm them all. And lastly, when you go to print the document, you won't be printing. We won't be carrying printed copies right now. You want to download to a PDF. You want to store that PDF in a designated Google Drive so that they stay organized for you and they have easy access when we come back to school, whenever that is. Meanwhile, be safe, stay well, and stay tuned for more information from your SELPA team.